Welcome to a Skyrim Addict podcast where I will discuss my adventures and misadventures through Skyrim. Join me. Add your stories, add your tales. Let's get into this thing. Hello. Welcome back, Skyrim Addict podcast, episode, 84? Something like that. It's Michael and Victor today.
Hello.
And this I did not realize this until I saw it online, but it is, and I know you're not a fan of potato heads, but it was the 10th anniversary of Oblivion.
Wow.
So I did actually fire up a little Oblivion this morning. And,
I saw that. Yeah.
It was funny because did you see that somebody posted in the Facebook group about when you jump back into a game after not playing for a while?
Yeah, the Gandalf quote there.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have no recollection of this place. Yeah.
That was me this morning because I'm like, I still have my character that I was playing last year who's relatively high leveled. But I was in the middle of doing something, and I'm like, what? I didn't even know how the controls worked. I didn't know what gear I had. I had no idea what was going on. So I played for about 10 or 15 minutes, and I was surrounded by about 15 ghosts in, I think it was the Bruma. I think I'm going through the mage's quest line, and it was where they attack Bruma, I believe. And so I'm surrounded by all these ghosts, and I forget how you have to kill them in Oblivion because it's way different. Than
Oh, really? Huh.
You have to have something enchanted to kill them, I believe.
Okay.
You can't just shoot them with normal weapons. And I'm using a bow, and the bow isn't that great in Oblivion anyway.
Yeah, that makes total sense. I mean, in light of something I just did this morning in Skyrim, it makes total sense to have some sort of enchanted or magical thing.
Yeah, you would think magic for a ghost would make complete sense. But yeah, I played for a few minutes today in honor of the 10th anniversary.
Well, that's cool.
I'll probably play it some more once I figure out where the hell I'm at in the story and what what I need to do. I may have to go back a save to figure that out.
I'll have some mashed potatoes for dinner in honor of the anniversary.
I know Colin's probably playing the lockpicking game over and over and over all day in honor of it. But you were saying you were setting up Requiem in Skyrim for this playthrough?
Yeah, I don't want to steal Colin's, or ask you details of what he said in his thing. Have you listened to it?
I haven't listened to it yet. I was
just wondering if he had talked about Requiem because he was talking about setting it up too, and I had that sort of inspired me to try getting Requiem set up again, and I've had issues with it over the literally years. And I played it in version, I think it was 1.7 maybe, or earlier. I don't remember. It was a while back. And then and then I tried to install it in version 1.8 point something, and I had all kinds of issues. And it's now up to version 1.9.3. And I mean, I've got to give the guy a lot of credit. He really supports the mod, and he's set up all kinds of help. Even literally a help desk that you can enter a form, and
wow.
somebody will get back to you and stuff like this. And it's all volunteer work. So he's to be really, really highly commended. But what people may or may not know about Requiem, I think Colin mentioned it on the last podcast we were on, that it's basically an unleveled world.
Yeah.
So that has many, many ups and downs, but it's also probably, in my experience anyway, the single most. And everybody's mileage will vary, and there'll be people out there going, I don't know what you're talking about. I had no problems with it at all. But it's the single most difficult mod I've ever had to set up.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah, but not because I don't think it's through any fault of Ogre Boss, who's the overall author of the mod. I think it's just everybody's system is different, and I had multiple train wrecks and roadblocks and stuff like that I had to overcome. I was literally almost in I was in total rage last night. just trying to get it to work. And I won't go into all the shitty details, but it's just I finally got it to run, and mostly correctly. I had to do a couple of little workarounds, and the with the help of the internet, and also with his really good website troubleshooting guides and help functions and stuff like that. But I think what it is it is so difficult because you have to prepare yourself for how difficult it's going to be when you try to play the game with Requiem. And so I've started it. I have a character I've been working on with a bunch of stuff that I'm enjoying with that I think we talked about the last time. I just sort of started him up, and I've been playing him on and off for the last few weeks. And his name is Varulous Hems, and he's an Imperial. But I've created a new character for Requiem.
Oh, okay.
And he's kind of a hybrid wood elf with some Nord blood and other things. He's a mixed race character, which you can do with the race menu mod.
Yeah, you can have it. Yeah, you don't have to just go down the simple.
Right. Yeah, it allows you to mix and match. There's some sliders for adding features from other races into the race you have. I haven't. He's still a Bosmer at base vanilla because some of the mods like Disparity and Imperious, which are great mods, just won't really play well with Requiem. So I'm not using anything that alters the race tables or whatever you call them. That's another thing with Requiem. It's really a huge overhaul, so you kind of have to play it not quite alone, but without some of the other stuff, and it really does affect the combat and things. So I've loaded a very mild combat mod called Vigor, which is pretty new, and a couple other new things, and got rid of a lot of the other stuff that I was using.
So with Requiem, it's better to have that as your main focus for your game.
I think, totally. It's better to just load Requiem. I mean, textures and stuff like that are fine, fair game. And there's other things. As long as you read up on all the mod authors and compatibilities and things. But, other perk overhauls, no. And you can use magic like Apocalypse. I'm using Apocalypse as I usually do. And some of the older and better sort of not overhauls but tweak mods like complete crafting overhaul and weapons and armor fixes, those are all okay with Requiem. But because it de-levels the world, so to speak, you have to be really careful with mods that play with the level list. Sort of affect whether how your experience with Requiem and kind of negate it or cause issues.
Wreak havoc.
But it's kind of cool because if you at level 1 or 2, if you wander into a place like Embershard Mine or Bleak Falls Barrow or something, you're gonna get your ass ripped off.
It's not like you're just gonna be able to survive it simply like you can.
Oh no, not at all. One shot's dead. Come on, because the bandits or whatever in there or Draugrs are level 20 or something. You're just not gonna survive. However, if by some miracle or great intelligence on the player's part you manage to survive one of those or kill some of them, you're going to get some really cool level loot.
There's that bonus as well.
Right. So it's sort of a give and take, which is kind of cool. So, and it really, I mean, you're not given a whole lot of weight to begin with. It's 85 pounds max, and stuff like that. So you have to be really careful about what you pick up and things. And I'm sure if Colin's using it, because I know he's playing Skyrim again, he'll talk about it too. So you really have to. It's a scarier world out there, and you have to be careful of what you pick up. You can't just grab everything.
You have to think through what you're going to be doing more and plan ahead a little bit. That's a much better way to play too, though. I think, especially after playing so long and so many times. That's
the thing. Yeah, you got to make it fresh and change it. That's why I did this other one with all the real estate mods and trade routes and stuff like that. That's a lot of fun. working on becoming a millionaire in Skyrim, owning the whole city of Whiterun or something like that, which would be fun to do.
That's the one thing I never did was get up to. I know people have gotten up to like 1 million gold or whatever. It's just I get so bored at around 100,000.
Right? Yeah, it's funny. I think Slythe came very close. He was my only character that came close. He had hundreds and hundreds of thousands and I don't remember how or why he managed to acquire so much. Just but maybe that was a mod that was adding lots of gems or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah,
he was just a badass and killing everything in sight, so he had lots of loot.
That's the problem I'm having now. I have so many gems from the Bernzaya quest.
Oh, right. Yeah.
That I can't even sell them. There's so many. And I do have, I did add, I think my merchants have double gold. It was a little merchant mod when I was trying to buy the house in Solitude. So, I mean, I could sell some of them, but I still can't even sell all of them. There's just so many start popping up once you have the Crown of Bernzaya. It's insane.
Yeah, yeah. So it's like you got to go and go to like Kolskegger mine a bunch of gold, and make lots of really expensive jewelry to buff up your smithing, and then enchant a lot of it to buff up your enchanting, and then just sort of throw them in a box somewhere.
That's probably what it's best for, or just sell them off for 0 gold, just to sell them off, or
Right.
It's probably best for upping your enchanting and smithing, really.
Yeah.
Because when you make that jewelry, you can really quickly.
Yeah, that's extraordinary. I mean,
they run those levels quick with those two.
Yeah,
especially the diamond necklaces. And
right. Yeah, you'll go up one level per per piece of jewelry.
Even at the higher levels with enchanting, if you're enchanting something like that, you'll at least tick it up pretty good, a half a level or something like that.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, it gets a bit of a grind when you get up there.
Yeah, I hate grinding, but I do it occasionally with alchemy and enchanting. Those
are the only two I really do it with. And once in a while, smithing. Not so much. I haven't done a lot of smithing recently.
Yeah, I use a couple of. For instance, the Complete Crafting Overhaul Remade mod, which is really part of just about every one of my Skyrim playthroughs. Allows you to tweak some of the settings a little bit, so it allows you to add skill, experience points when you use the smelter and when you mine ore and when you use the leather crafting station, the tanning rack.
Oh, okay.
Which is really nice. So I don't overpower it, but I add a couple percentage points to each one.
Yeah, because you should gain something for doing that. It is part of the whole process.
I totally think so, especially mining. To me, anyway, I think that's like really a big part of it. So I add a little extra with mining.
Yeah, because even if you get a little experience from that, it's I don't think it's out of what you would expect in a normal situation like that. You know what I mean? In a real world scenario, I mean, you would be learning part of the skill, which is getting the ore.
Right. Yeah, totally. So what where are you in Skyrim now?
I've been going along with those different quest mods. I think the last time I talked about it, I did the McMillar Chronicles, which is an older one.
I've never even heard of that. I should.
Yeah, I think it came out in like 2012 or something, or maybe 2012 was the last time it was updated. But that one was on the mainland and just kind of bopped around. Sorry, there's a 3-legged cat bopping around here. In real life, not in Skyrim.
How's he doing? Yeah.
No, he's doing really well.
Good,
he's just tearing about the basement. I didn't know what he was up to, but so yeah, that one's you kind of. It's kind of fetchy at points where you have to do a little too much fast travel, because you got to go here, over to there, over to here, over to there kind of thing.
Yeah.
But overall, I thought the voicing of it was pretty good, and the story was pretty good. There was some funny things in it that were a little silly, which was good, because you want just something different sometimes. But really. I'm really enjoying going through the different quests, and then I just went. I had a couple. Things for Worm's Tooth that I had to do on the mainland that I said, let me do those, and then I'll head back over there again. And I found some other stuff to do over here, so I really like Worm's Tooth a lot. It's one of my. It's probably up there with was it Forgotten City? They're different, but they're both. The voice acting and everything is really well done in both.
Yeah, I've been really impressed with Worms Tooth so far, and I started playing it on your recommendation a week or so ago. I've been taking it really slow because I'm doing the Civil War, with my Varylous Hems character right now, and so of course being an Imperial, he's so I'm sort of doing that along with my filling out my shouts and stuff like that.
Oh yeah,
Thunderchild mod. But I've done a few of the first Fetch the Mercenary quests. And the voice acting is really good, and the writing seems to be really good. I didn't feel as I didn't like Forgotten City. I didn't complete it, but I haven't. What I've done of it, I haven't liked as much as you.
Yeah, that's a little different. It's not. It doesn't have the same feel as Sky. It kind of takes you out of the world a bit.
Yeah.
But maybe it was when I played it. But and there are so many ways it can end. You can end it very abruptly.
Well, yeah, did I? I think I did actually, by mistake.
Yeah, that can happen.
Oh yeah, I know what I did. I Fusro Dod the guy right off the balcony.
Oh
there, and that was the end of it. I thought, whoops! I don't think I was supposed to do that.
So, yeah, you can end that one. That's one that you can end without even realizing you ended it.
yeah. No, that's cool. I guess that's.
That was one of the things I did like about it is it didn't necessarily always go to a specific end.
Right.
It really depended on how you interacted with people and all that kind of stuff. That there was a lot of a lot of things that affected how it went for you and where it ended up and things like that.
Well, that's good because I'll go back and play it. I just I guess I wasn't in the mood for it when I went down there, and I wasn't in the mood for being stuck there.
Yeah, that's the thing. You are you have to get through it, or you're not getting out of there. That is the one thing. Whereas the other ones, you can kind of it's like going to Solstheim basically or something. You can go back, clear out your stuff, go back again.
That's much more with fits in with my particular play style anyway.
Yeah, I do like that, and the thing I like about Worm's Tooth too is it looks like Skyrim, but with the addition of the mushrooms and stuff, you feel like you've traveled somewhere.
Yeah, that's cool. I haven't been there yet, so I'm really looking forward to seeing what he did with the place. Is it an island or is it part of another landmass?
It's basically like a mining camp, but it's an island. I don't know size wise how big it is. It's pretty good size. Not Solstheim big, but I would say 3/4 of that maybe.
Wow.
Or no, half of that. I would say about half of Solstheim. And I've probably discovered, let's see, how many locations have I discovered? I've probably discovered 15 locations already.
Wow.
And I haven't really explored the whole thing yet. And I have some quest markers at places that I haven't discovered yet either. So
yeah, another one I've been wanting to go back to because when it first came out, I loaded Somerset Isle and just sort of derped around a little bit, and it's another one it's a nicely done area, but I never really pursued any of the real quests that are built in.
Yeah, that are in there.
Yeah,
did you ever play through the that moon path elsewhere?
No, I feel bad because I all these quest mods, the only one that I've ever completed. No, because I never completed Falskar either. Was Helgen Reborn? That's the only.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's the only one I've ever gone through completely.
Yeah, I haven't done that one yet. I think I would like to try that one. I just added the one that expands the Dark Brotherhood. I forget what the name of it was.
Okay.
Where it continues the quest lines after that. I guess it's like rebuilding the Dark Brotherhood or something like that. I forget what it was exactly.
Oh, cool! I'll have to check that one out because I haven't done that. I'm not sure with my Requiem character.
Yeah,
he's going to be a sort of a. I think he's going to go thieves maybe, but also possibly companions. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I'm going to rectify that, as it were, but I've added two little mods to the game which affect the entry requirements for both the Thieves Guild and the companions.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, I think I talked about the Thieves Guild one once before. You have to have completed X number of have stolen X number of items in order for Brynjolf to even talk to you.
So you actually have to be somewhat leveled up, and have to have some experience actually stealing.
Right, exactly. And you have to, I think, a certain skill level with something or other in order to, and so on. So, and then to advance in the quest line, you have to, you have to go through a lot more trials and things like that. And the other mod for the companion is essentially the same kind of thing. It makes it a lot more difficult to join. You can't just walk in there as some schmuck and
Yeah, and they're like, "Hey, come on, join us. Here's a quest.
Yeah,
Go take
right.
it."
Yeah, I mean, if you really want to find out what a warrior of true metal is like, then you have to go. You have to go and be one first. So
yeah, because I think Juan said he also had added something to the Thieves Guild as well, and maybe that's what it was.
yeah, I don't remember. I think I don't remember what it was. He
may have mentioned it in I forget when he meant it. It may have been a little bit ago, but I think it was Thieves Guild and Dark Brotherhood. He had added a couple things too.
Well, I'm curious about that Dark Brotherhood one. I know there's you can kill them off, which is but I've never. So I don't think that's the right path for this Requiem guy, whose name, by the way, is Will Hawthorne.
Well,
Yeah. So I love naming characters. It's one of my favorite things to do. But yeah, I'll have to create another assassin build sometime.
yeah, because I may have started the Dark Brotherhood with this character. Just the very, very beginning part where you're taken to the cabin.
Oh yeah.
And you know what? I hit the level in Ordinator now where I can conjure 4 beings. So now I have 4 Dremora Lords standing around.
Oh, cool.
I didn't even realize that. I must have just went over at my last level when I just leveled up. Because all of a sudden I'm looking, I'm like, oh wow, I have 4 now.
That's cool.
But that I got to say, I'm still loving that. And still really enjoying that part of the tree in Ordinator. The conjuration, it just really expands it so well.
Yeah, he did a really good job on that particular skill. Did you do all the bone collector things with the skeletons and everything too?
I haven't fully leveled those up yet because I did the enchanting. I leveled up some. I'm up to what am I up to on the bone warriors? Let's see. I don't think I have it where you can. Oh, okay. I haven't added the mages yet. I have Reap and Sow, both of those, which is the you loot more bones from corpses.
Right.
And then the next one, I'm able to create the skeleton mages, which I haven't done that yet. So I'm going to start adding to those because I'm only level 41, which so I still have plenty of leveling.
Yeah.
The problem is I use a lot of conjuration. I've been 100 for a long time.
Yeah. Yeah, I got rid of that character, so I dumped a whole mess of stuff when I sort of got fed up with Skyrim a few months ago.
Yeah, and start it fresh.
Yeah, I started a lot of things fresh, and I kept old favorites, but I'll never be able to play them again because I've sort of dumped a lot of the mods and the versions of mods that I had.
Oh, okay.
Like Scythe, I saved all my Scythe saves and a couple of others, but so yeah, I haven't. And the only game I'm playing with Ordinator is the Imperial guy, my other current character, and so I haven't. He's not doing conjuration, so I'm not going to be able to do that part of the tree.
Yeah, I've started going up the illusion one a bit now.
Yeah, that's what I figured. I'm with this guy, I've been doing some illusion.
I know. I think I have the was it Dream Thief is one of them where you boost up your illusion by stealing people's dreams or something.
Yeah, I don't have it up right in front of me right now, but that sounds familiar.
That's a pretty low level one of the perks though, because every time I go to talk to somebody when they're sleeping, I get a Dream Thief pops up.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. I'll start it up because I'm trying to remember some of the interesting things he's found, and I can't remember where they actually come from in terms of mod or what. But one of the things that with this Thunderchild mod I've been learning new, he's repurposed a lot of existing words of power, and so he doesn't add any, but he sort of redoes the existing ones,
okay.
which is kind of cool. And so different combinations, and you learn them by praying to Kine or meditating.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Oh dear. I apologize. I thought my master volume was set off.
I didn't even hear anything.
Oh, you didn't? Oh,
Nope.
good. Okay. I thought that came through on well, I don't know. I'll start the game. If it starts making lots of noise, I'll get to the volume as soon as I can.
Yeah, no, I don't hear anything. So
You don't? Okay. But there's one shout that I have right now called Curse, which is really actually pretty powerful. And the more powerful your enemy, the more powerful it gets, because basically it reflects whatever they throw at you back at them 150%.
Oh, wow.
Which is really pretty awesome. I mean, you can where was I? I was in the Dead Man's Respite.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And I'm playing on Master. There's a really tough battle at the end there where you get into King Olaf's thing. There's a bunch. He pulls out all kinds, and that has Revenge of the Enemies, so I'm getting all these Draugr Death Lords or Death Warlocks, I think they're called, and they spawn these headless ghosts that come after you.
Oh, great, yeah.
Yeah, so. But then Janasa and I whittled it down, and finally it's down to a couple, and she's engaging them, and King Olaf, and he's maybe still at about 80% health, and I stood right in front of him and shouted that shout at him, and he blasted something at me and killed him instantly. Because obviously you still have to have enough health to withstand the blast.
Yeah, to be able to take it in.
Right, and he took me down almost. He almost killed me, but it just got him.
Oh, man,
pretty impressive. I like that. I can't imagine what it's gonna be like when I learn all 3 words of that.
Oh, wow, yeah.
So
How much does it throw back? Is 150 the max, or is that where you're at now?
That's where I'm at right now. Let me look here so I can figure this out. What does it do? Curse. Your Thum briefly condemns your enemies to suffer the physical or mystical pains they inflict upon you and back unto them. So there's no percentage. It's just, and it's got a fairly short recharge too.
Oh, wow.
So, but I only have the first word, which is mirror. And I forget, mirror is, that's part of something else, and I can't remember what. Maybe that is one he added. I don't think so though. I don't know. Anyway, there's a whole bunch of other ones. Phantom Decoy, which I haven't been able to quite figure out how that works. It's supposed to, your voice solidifies as a ghostly illusion or shatters the illusion to inflict harm upon your enemies. I use it and nothing seems to happen.
And nothing happened.
Yeah, it's like, oh, well, that was a waste of time.
Oh, man. Yeah, I just found a playable loot, so I wonder if I can try that. Worm's Tooth adds playable loots. There you go.
Oh, have you done the speaking of loots and stuff? I thought you were spelling it LOOT,
no.
but I finally figured it out. Have you done the what's it called? Let me look here. It's part of Ordinator. Go magic fingers, go here. It's part of the speech tree.
Oh.
And it is the performer perk.
Oh, no.
Oh, it's funny. It grants the perform power once a day. Play a song to entertain up to 5 people within 50 feet and collect a donation from each based on your speech skill and the amount of gold they're carrying.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I see that. Yeah. It's only the second one up, too.
Right, and that's that's the irresistible dance. I haven't gotten there yet. I have enough to get the Serenade one, which is I haven't picked up yet, but that's performing to members of the opposite sex yields twice as much. But yes, irresistible dance. I guess if you do it in combat, it just sounds like,
man,
like that'd be a gas. So I got to try that.
Yeah, I see that. There's a whole tree or a whole branch of that.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah.
Irresistible, Lord of the Dance, Pulse of the.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh wow,
Yeah. It sounds
that's
like it
nice.
could be fun. Where's Lord of the Dance? I missed that
That's
one.
it's up in the middle there. It's above Irresistible Dance to the right.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
So what? No, I didn't see. I don't have it. So what version of
Oh,
Ordinator?
it would have to be the latest because Steam automatically updates it. So,
Oh, right, of course.
yeah,
Yeah, so that must be something added to your version that I haven't
yeah.
upgraded
Because
yet.
if you go up, there's Encore, Ratcatcher, and then there's also Lord of the Dance. There's three
Okay.
choices. You can instead of the two choices, there's a third choice, but it cuts off at Lord of the Dance on that particular branch. But the other ones continue up to what is it, Pulse of Nature?
Okay, an earthquake drum.
Yeah, the Earthquake Drum. Yeah.
Okay, all right. So he's just added yet another branch to it. That's cool.
But they're both same. They're both level 90 requirements.
Ah, okay.
But that's wow. That seems like a lot of fun. And you can
Yeah,
play
it is
like
a lot of fun. I've done it in the Bannered Mare and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's great. Yeah, it's so totally like out of character. It's something I would never do in real life. So
yeah,
it's
exactly.
you know.
I'm gonna have to play with the speech tree now that I've seen that. That's a whole lot of fun because you could actually just be a bard now.
Right. I guess that's part of the impetus for role playing there. You could role play as a bard and sing your way across Skyrim and through the dungeons.
Sing your way through the dungeons of Skyrim.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a lot of fun. I'm trying to think of what else. I haven't really plumbed any of the other really cool things he added to some of these other trees.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to explore some of the other ones a little more because I've been so locked into the conjuration one, and the enchanting one that I haven't really looked at the other ones yet. But I think I need to. I may add the spend Dragon Souls as perks.
Oh, okay.
Just so I have some, so I can play around with. It'll give me a little more flexibility to be able to do it.
Yeah, what does that do? You have to spend like 5 or 6 Dragon Souls for one perk
something like that. Yeah, there's some. Yeah, I forget exactly how many it is, but at least it'll be. I won't have to keep grinding to level up.
Right.
I can just grind and kill dragons.
Yeah.
Which I don't even have to do. I just send my army of conjured people out there too.
That's good. Yeah, I eliminated all my the dragon combat overhaul and stuff like that in my Imperial playthrough, but I added elemental dragons to my Requiem.
Oh, okay.
We'll see how that goes. Because Colin liked it a lot. So
yeah, he did really like that one.
So, yeah, I'm just looking through some of these other ones. There's a whole mess of stuff in Sneak too that I haven't.
Yeah, I haven't really been sneaking with this character that much, but I just got shot in the face with an arrow. But I still have no health, so I die immediately. But I haven't been. I've been sneaking, but I haven't put anything into Sneak because I haven't really needed to because I generally have a wall of people surrounding me.
Right.
So it's not something that I really have to worry about. But yeah, I'd have to maybe I'll play. The other trees seem like they have so much more stuff in them. Even the pickpocket, you could play as a straight up thief and really have. There's a lot of options.
I haven't. What I'll do is I'll clone this because Mod Organizer lets you do this pretty easily. I'll clone my Requiem build, then take Requiem out of it and put Ordinator back in, and sort of do a little bit of concurrent playing and just see because I know Requiem totally revamps the whole perk tree. So, but they're much simpler in Requiem. I haven't even. There's not multiple branches. A couple of them only have like 2 branches. And stuff like
it's very streamlined.
Yeah. And a little bit like, I don't know. It's similar in some when at start off with Spurg, where you get where the mod grants you the first perk in every tree in Spurg, and then limits the the amount of. I think you only get 1 perk per 3 levels or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
Requiem grants you 3 perks to use at the beginning, and then I can't remember, and I have to look back in the documentation whether you get 1 perk per level or whether he limits that as well. But with Requiem, you can't pick a lock unless you have a perk. You can't pick a pocket unless you have the first perk.
Oh wow!
And if you don't have the first speech perk, when you go into stores, you're going to get ripped off. So, I mean, totally ripped off. They just take you for all you're worth. So there's a lot of stuff like that you have to sort of get used to with Requiem.
Well, so it makes it, where you really have to have skills to be able to do anything.
Right. Yeah, that's the idea. So I nerfed the lockpicking thing because I think that's silly. And the other thing that Requiem does that I turned off is it makes you drop your weapons if you run out of stamina, and you run out of stamina really easily.
Oh, right. So you're constantly...
Yeah, so a wolf attacks you and you take a swing with the axe and you're out of stamina and you drop the axe and the wolf kills you. It's like, that's silly. Even in real life, and I've done some mock battle and stuff in real life, and you get tired, but you still hang on to your weapon.
Yeah, you don't just drop it on the ground.
Right, for dear life. I mean, So I think that's kind of silly personally. So he allows you to turn that off. So I did.
That's good.
Yeah. So,
yeah, but I'm definitely going to have to get into Ordinator more than I already have, because I may have to start even another character just to play around with it. But because to go up the Bard or go something like that, that seems really fun. And
yeah, I'm getting a real kick out of that.
Might be tough to do at already a higher level to jump right in and try and play.
Yeah, probably. I'm sort of using it casually, so it's fun in the inns. But so I'm looking forward to trying it out in a dungeon with some bandits or something like that. But I have the feeling if I do, they'll just kill me anyway.
Does it?
We'll see. But it might be fun. I'm just looking through some of the quests I'm running with Varus right now. I'm really sort of trying to do a pretty broad-ranging playthrough that I haven't done in a long time. I haven't played through the whole
stories.
Yeah, Civil War and
gosh, I haven't done that since we did it for the roundtable, I think.
Yeah, so it's been like a year and a half or something like that.
Yeah, I didn't realize that. Yeah, it's been quite a while.
Yeah, so that's going to be fun. And although, I don't remember it being quite such a hog on system resources, but like the Battle of Whiterun, I won. My frame rates went down to nothing.
Because of how many everybody's just running in together all at the same time.
Right.
Just the loads of people.
Right, and all the explosions and everything else.
That's true. There's the explosions and the fires and things that really drain it down. Yeah.
Because I've been keeping an eye on my my frame rate, which has been pretty much solid 60 until I ran into that battle, and it was just like tanking every.
Then it drew it right out.
Sorry about the siren in the background. Can you hear that?
Oh yeah.
I'll mute if you want me to.
Air raid?
No, I live almost right next door to the volunteer fire department.
No, that's fine.
Yeah, they only do it 6 times.
To call everybody. Yeah, no, we're not that far from ours, so it goes off regularly. I don't even hear it anymore. It goes, because it goes off.
Right, I don't either. The only time it ever bothered me a lot was when a couple nights when it got really, really, really cold. And this is kind of disturbing, but I've never heard it go off more than those nights because, of course, there's lots of people out there who are cold and they're using space heaters and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it's kind of sad,
using things that can easily either drain your oxygen down in your house without you realizing it or catch it on fire.
Right. So anyway, I think that should be the last the last mournful wail there.
Oh man. Yeah, I'm gonna pop on Colin's feedback real quick.
Okay.
Let's see what he had to say here. I got it pulled up.
Hi guys, it's Colin here. I just thought I'd record some feedback about my new Skyrim playthrough that I've started. Seems like everybody in the group lately is starting a new Skyrim playthrough. A lot of posts in the Facebook group I've seen, which is a good thing. I thought I would start off a new playthrough because I'm really itching for one since they ended the last round table. And what really inspired it was when I named my new character for the Fallout round table. I had named him Koronoma Ruji, which is named after a couple of characters from a couple of different anime that I watched, and a couple of my favourite characters. When I was typing in the name, I wanted to make sure I spelled Ruji correctly, so I checked on Google quickly to see if I could find the name and write out. But as I had written it out, I inadvertently found out where the name had come from and what's the origins of that name in Japanese. And apparently that name comes from a really old name called Ryujin, which is Ryujin. And if you have a chance, just check it on Google on the origins of Ryujin and what the name means, and you can see why it kind of inspired a new Skyrim playthrough. So I've got a new character now, and the only basis I have for him is that his name is Ryujin. I've gone for a pretty standard build that I usually go for is Breton. He's currently in heavy armour and using two-handed, and uses conjuration as most Bretons do. And I've had a pretty long install of different mods. I've tested quite a few. I first went with a very small load order, and the overhaul I was going to go for was Requiem, which apparently de-levels the world. So everything is... You don't sort of like, the difficulty doesn't increase as a further. Everything is one level, and as it turns out, really difficult. It kind of, I didn't see it as it was de-leveling the world. More, it made it really tedious and boring. I couldn't get on with it whatsoever. It's a whole new overhaul mod that is entirely devoted to sneaky archers. And you can't fight people, like, can't have one guy fighting 2-on-1 or 3-on-1 because you'll just get owned. They had no respect for the heavy armor at all. Heavy armor is there to deflect blows, but I was taking the same amount of damage as somebody in light armor would when I was in heavy armor. The only way you could get a really quick and easy kill was a backstab. So either you're really, really sneaky, or you go in there loaded up with about 3 different followers. Just didn't seem that fun to me. As I said, it just became really tedious and boring. So I annexed that. And then my second choice was Percus Maximus. And that's quite a long install. And I thought, seeing as I was going with that, I might as well increase my mod list if I'm going. It was going, no matter which way you go, you're going to have to run the patcher, and it's going to take a long time anyway. So I went with my full mod list. A few new ones. So you got the standard Revenge of the Enemies. You got I Need. I went with Realistic Needs and Diseases. And Immersive Armors. But I had the Emidian Born meshes on over the top of that because I prefer his stuff. I got a lot of... I think his name is Cabal, I think.
Yep.
and I've got a lot of his mods. I really like all the stuff he does. He's done landscape, he's done Whiterun, an overhaul of that. He's done a lot of armors and a lot of weapons, just retextures. So that doesn't really worry Percus Maximus because it doesn't affect anything in the gameplay. But it makes everything look really, really nice. So I like a lot of his stuff. And I've also installed Elemental Dragons, which was from my previous one. And I've got to say, I've only had one dragon fight so far. And that was the one at the Watchtower. And it was an amazing fight. Before previous, like, you know, the original Skyrim on the Xbox when I played that, and every game subsequent, when you're in that fight, whether you're on Adept or you're on Legendary, it's you, all the guards, and Irileth. And you pretty much, you know, you give that dragon a bit of a kicking, really. And you don't really feel that good about yourself when you get back to Whiterun, because you're that low level, you're probably hiding out in the tower the most of the time, and all the guards and Irileth is doing most of the damage. So when you go back and you get named Thane of the city and all that sort of stuff, you don't really feel like you've accomplished anything. But this, it was the complete opposite of that. It was a fantastic fight because Elemental Dragons gave Milnor this area of effect fear spell. Ooh. So basically it was the master level spell of fear that you get later on in Illusion, and it affected everybody. It affected all the guards and Irileth. Luckily for me, the only people it didn't affect was me and obviously you sure you have to play a character, but it didn't affect me, and it didn't affect my Flame Atronach. So I was hiding out, and every time he set off that spell, everybody else was running away. So basically, it was just me and my Flame Atronach and my those wooden longbows you get out of. Was it I've forgotten what the name of the guy is. The Rayloff gives you as you're trying to get out of Helgen. When he gives you the bow. That's the only bow I had. A few iron arrows and a few of the ancient Nord ones that I picked up in Bleak Falls Barrow. And that was it. That's all I had to fight against this dragon. And it was fantastic. One of the toughest fight. Well, not one of the toughest. Probably one of the most enjoyable. So it was really, really tough. It went on for a good 20 to 30 minutes, I'd say, of me hiding and sticking my head out. There's a little, right near the door, there's a little, window that, that you're supposed to shoot arrows out of. Well, I got right up to that, and I started shooting a couple of arrows, and I was like, gotcha. And he just blasted the whole area with fire, and it got through that tiny little hole and nearly ended me. I had to, and with Percus Maximus, the potions that you take, the healing potions, are not instant; they're timed. So it will replace 12 health per second for 8 seconds. So when I hit the bloody button, it only gave me 12 points of health, and I was still on fire. So I had to switch over to the spells as well. So I was taking the healing potion and using the healing spell at the same time, trying to survive it. And that was really close. But I managed to get through it. And then I got back on the horse, and I sort of went back to Whiterun, and then I heard the what should we call it? The Call of the Greybeards. And it was awesome. Back to the way the Skyrim of old, when I remember my first playthrough, when I didn't know what the hell was going on, and I was terrified every second of going around every single different corner. So I really like Percus Maximus's guts. Gives you a lot of trouble. You got to stand back and sort of think, well, I'm going to get a kick in here. I've got Lydia with me, and I'm using EFF, which is a follower mod to help it out. But other than that, apart from the I don't think there's any other gameplay changes. They haven't added any extra spells because Percus Maximus adds that as well. But I just thought I'd send in some feedback that I've started my new playthrough and I'm really, really enjoying it. And I'm currently level 10. I've got a horse and I've got a tent and I've got Lydia with me. And I think my character is going to be... I think he arrived in Skyrim as a treasure hunter, as a bit of a mercenary. He came to, he lost all his money and he thought, well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Skyrim and I'm going to wander around. I'm going to go in here and go in there, into like this ruin and into this mine, and I'm going to grab all the stuff and sell it and make myself a bunch of money. And I think it's going to go on for quite a while. I'm hoping so anyway. I'm hoping this Percus Maximus overhaul and having a good long break off of Skyrim while we were playing Fallout 4 is really going to let me carry on with this playthrough until a good 70 or 80, maybe even beyond. Thank you very much for listening. And I'll probably post a couple of pics in the Facebook group of Rugen, so you all can get a good gander at him. And I'll see you guys later. Thanks. Bye.
Strangely, Colin was in the hangout.
I just saw that. Yeah,
listening
off again.
Yeah, listening to himself and then disappeared.
I'll see if he's on Steam there.
I know he said he was working, so maybe he just had a few moments and popped in. But
yeah, maybe that was what it was. Yeah,
it was funny. I looked and I'm like, wait, why is Colin showing up in the hangout? He's on here.
Yeah, well, I almost started chatting at him, and then I realized, oh, whoops, no. Yeah.
It was all very confusing. It was like some kind of time travel thing.
Oh well. So yeah, I totally agree with him on like things like the Amadian Born stuff. That's they're really beautiful textures. There's a lot of other texture packs out there, but I think it's the best too. I totally agree with Colin on that.
So it really just adds does it add some like realism to the weapons and things?
No, I don't think it's realism so much. It's just for the armor textures and stuff. They're just a little nicer looking. The landscape textures aren't necessarily more realistic. They're just prettier.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And smoother in some ways. The dungeons and caves and stuff are really, really nice. He did, and he or she, I don't know if Kabbalah is a he or a she, but anyway, redid the farmhouses and really makes the roofs look real thatch.
Oh wow,
much nicer looking. Yeah, totally. They're really, really nice textures.
Yeah, the little things like that I really enjoy adding.
Yeah, I do too. It makes the game so much more, just so much nicer to live in.
Yeah. Even like the weather, different weather ones and stuff like that. It's just that little bit of, I guess, realism or whatever. Just makes it feel like you are somewhere.
Yeah. In fact, in the last couple of games I've built up, I'm using a weather mod called Purity. Mm-hmm. It's sort of an environmental overhaul. I'm using it along with True Storms, so it's there he is.
Hi guys, I'm still at work. I was jumping in to say hello.
That's what we figured. You confused us quite a bit.
Sorry.
Yeah, well, you dropped in while you were talking on your tape there, and I was like, "What? Wait, huh?"
Because I was like, "What the hell's going on?"
Yeah, well, I got up to go to the door, and when I came back, you were still talking, but you were there, and so it was like very confusing.
It was like some kind of inception going on in the show.
Yeah.
Just what the world needs, 2 of me.
So
how's it going?
good. I love to hear from your experience with Requiem. I was talking about Requiem earlier. If you listen to the podcast later, you'll hear me muttering about it. But I started a new character with Requiem, so you didn't have any trouble with getting it installed?
Requiem, no. It was I had a very, very basic load order, so I didn't have that much on there, save a couple of textures. So I was pretty fine with it. I didn't have any I didn't have any extra combat ones. I didn't have any extra weapon ones, like no immersive armors, nothing like that. So
right. Cool. But it's interesting. You didn't like it a whole lot.
No, I mean, it was, as I said, it got a little bit tedious, and there was 3 guys up, near the watchtower on the way to Bleak Falls Barrow.
Mm-hmm.
Those 3 guys. I must have went at them probably about 5 or 6 times. Oh.
Yeah, Bleak Falls is pretty much out of range for an early character in Requiem. It's just not doable. And nor is Embershard Mine, believe it or not. They're pretty highly leveled there too.
So I guess that would force you almost into a sneaky person early, right?
Well,
if you're going to go solo, I would recommend it. Yeah, they've taken away a lot of power from archery anyway.
Yes.
So, but you have to do a really good ranged. And plus, I was playing a Breton. If you wear heavy armor, it increases the cost of your magic spell.
Yep.
So I had the conjuration perks. Without heavy armor, it would have cost me 80 for a spell. If I put heavy armor on, it cost like 500 and something.
Wow.
Yeah, you can adjust that in the.
I can, I did.
Yeah.
I didn't understand that whatsoever. I adjusted that in the MCM, but me and I think it was a Savage Wolf. I think it was that I had up against the 3 guys at the Watchtower, and that wasn't happening. So
I've taken away a couple things that Requiem does. I was saying earlier, I shut off the stamina weapon drop thing, which I thought was kind of stupid. But I'm not playing a heavy armor guy, so I'm not, or magic user, so I'm not worried about that too much.
Yeah, I was wearing heavy armor drains your stamina while you're walking.
Right. Yep.
Oh, does it? Oh, wow.
Yeah. It's all about stamina. I mean, I'm playing this mod with Frostfall too, so it's going to be interesting. But I've turned some of those things down because between Requiem and Frostfall at sort of full vanilla ratings, the way the mods come, I mean, you could walk out of a building into a cold day and fall over dead. It's just it's just ridiculous. So they try to be realistic, but in so doing, I think they turn too far in the other direction. So it helps to tweak them a little bit.
Yeah, I was very interested because I was having to read some of the perks in Rec Room, and I killed a couple of wolves in it, and you get a lot more stuff from killing them, like hearts and stuff, and mix them into alchemical ingredients. And it looked all very interesting, but I didn't really fancy, because the way it has it is that when you start out, you're like a 5-year-old child.
Yeah.
It's not like you're a 30-year-old man who has just arrived in Skyrim. Yes, all right, you've just arrived in Skyrim, but you're not a newborn baby. You've been alive for like 30-odd years. You have experience at some things.
Yeah, you're right.
I'm going to have to go. I've got people interrupting me. So I'll speak to you guys later. Have a good podcast.
All right, Colin.
Good
to hear from you.
Sorry about that.
On new key.
If you wanted one exactly like that...
That's awesome.
We're visiting Colin at work today.
Yeah, that was
Oh, that's funny. Oh, man.
great to hear his people voice.
Yes. Yes. His helpful voice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, but I guess it's good to be able to set Frostfall and Requiem to like where you're comfortable where it feels natural.
I think so. At first, I've played Frostfall a lot over the years, and early on I thought of it as kind of an admission of failure or weakness, but I don't think so. I mean, I've been a hiker all my life, and I've done a lot of winter camping, and you just don't lose exposure that fast.
Yeah,
and so I nerfed that down quite a bit, and tweak the settings some to make it an interesting part of the game rather than something that just takes over the game,
rather than the complete focus of it.
Yeah. So anyway, that's my way of playing it, and everybody has their own way of doing it. So, and that's the great part about it. And I'm glad that both mod authors allow you to tweak the settings a little bit. Requiem basically takes away fast travel, but he allows you to turn it back on if you want to. But I don't fast travel anyway, so except with carriages. So
I do like I that's what I like, using carriages, because it feels. It feels like a natural part of the game. Like
it is.
A place.
Yeah. And with a mod like I Need, when you travel long distance across Skyrim, it actually allows you to gain sleep points from the traveling. So if you're using a needs mod like that, where you have to sleep, you can sleep on the bus, as it were.
Oh, there you go.
And that's kind of cool. Yeah, I agree. I don't mind fast travel as such if you can do it in a sort of a lore friendly fashion. It's the way they do it in The Witcher, for instance. You walk to a road signpost and you do the fast travel thing from there to another signpost. It's okay, and it's such a huge world that you almost have to.
You almost have to do it. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's more of a mechanic than really gameplay, and that's. The way they did it in Skyrim, I think, is much better.
I tend to use it only during fetch quests.
I'm sorry, you cut out there.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I use it mostly during fetch quests. Otherwise, I like to, especially if it's over a long distance, where it's like, oh, go pick up this for me and bring it back.
Yeah, that's a good point. Actually, yeah.
Those are the times I tend to use it most. Otherwise, if the place is relatively close, or where I can get there, and I know where I'm going or whatever. But I feel like I open up the map more that way. But then if it's just hey, go get me X from X and deliver this to this person, I tend to fast travel. Then those are the times I tend to fast travel.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Or on my return from the quest as well.
Right. Yeah, especially when you're doing like those Thieves Guild requirements. And things like that. It could get really tedious. I mean, I did that in Fallout 4 too, where if you suddenly get a pop up that your settlement that's all the way on the other side of Boston,
you don't have time to run there, or they're all dead.
yeah. So you fast travel, but.
Yeah, they don't even give you time to walk there. It's like fast travel there, or you're going to fail this quest.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Thankfully, there's no Prestons in Skyrim. Who just come up to you.
Oh, I'm sorry. I like Preston.
I just meant his quest giving skills. Otherwise, he's one of the only nice people left in the.
I think so. I think he's just a real sweetheart,
Yeah.
And he just doesn't get enough credit for that.
He cares about everyone and wants to help out and rebuild things.
Right. Yeah.
Just a little overzealous with the quest giving.
Yeah, that's it. Yep.
But you can't blame him.
Yeah. No.
Oh gosh. All right. Well, I have an Easter egg hunt to go to.
Awesome. I hope you find lots of eggs.
In this beautiful 35-degree pre-snowing weather.
Yeah, kind of gray and chilly out there. It was gorgeous this morning, and then it's turned kind of cruddy. I didn't even realize it was supposed to snow. So.
I don't. You guys might not be getting it. It's just really just touching the coast. So we're at the very edge of it. I know Boston's supposed to get a nice little shot, but and the eastern tip of Long Island, I think, is supposed to get a good bit, but hopefully it misses a little even further east. That would be nice.
Yeah.
Since it was like 85 degrees a week ago, and now it's.
I know.
This weather has thrown me off, but
soon enough.
But I have to actually finish up editing the roundtable, the other episode of the roundtable, so that'll be out today.
Oh, cool.
And I think those guys recorded Game Talk yesterday.
No, we had to postpone it.
Oh, okay.
We're doing it this afternoon.
Oh, well, there you go.
2 Eastern. If anybody's listening and wants to hop in for that. Oh no, we're not doing this live, so nobody's listening.
Yeah, well, this will be out pretty quickly though.
So by the time you hear this, it'll be done.
Yeah. But you can check it out on the feed, and all the links for that I put them up on the website yesterday, so they should all be up there. Cool. And Jeremy and I were trying to figure out the witchcraft of iTunes and how you change the album artwork, which is random and annoying.
Oh, really? Of course, like everything
as
else.
Everything else with iTunes is, but
Yep.
It's just the way it is.
Yep, sad but true.
But I may not be a show next week. I don't know. I'm on vacation next week, so we'll see. See what goes on there. I don't know if I'm bringing Skyrim with me or not this time.
Oh, are you going to Disney World?
Yeah, we're going to Disney. Well, we're driving down, so I can bring stuff with me. So we will be bringing the Xbox One because Automatron coming out.
Yeah.
So I'll have that there. And since I get up like 5 hours before everybody else in the morning, I'll have time to go for a run and play some Automatron. But
nice. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. It's Tuesday, so.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. So I might bring the PC too to play some Skyrim. I don't know. We'll see. I probably will. Why not? We're driving. We got plenty of room.
Yeah.
You got to have something to do, right?
Yep.
All right. Victor, thank you for hopping on.
Thanks for having me, Michael.
And we'll do it again soon. Later, everyone.
All right.
Hello, I'm back. I have some feedback here from Dave, so I wanted to get that in from, let's see. He's back home from the north, his vacation that we were talking about last week. And he's not in love with the ESO Thieves Guild. So he's going to go back to Skyrim and reprise Mac Beta there. So I'm gonna guess this is how we transfer him back there. Let's see how this goes. Nocturnal wins again. I entered the Twilight Sepulchre with a feeling of unease. I wasn't sure what to expect, and meeting the ghost of Gallus was not high on my list. He somehow recognized me as a nightingale. I told him Mercer Frey was dead, and with the help of Carlia and Brynloff... Oh, I'm sorry. I told him Mercer Frey was dead with the help of Carlia and Brynloff. I told him that I had the skeleton key and asked him to return the key, but he said he couldn't. He was dying and wasn't worthy because he had lost the key in the first place. He said I would have to return the key by myself and walk something called the Pilgrim's Path. He explained that the Sepulchre is more than a temple, as it contains a link to Nocturnal's realm Evergloom. The skeleton key holds the link to Evergloom open. Gallus had never walked the Pilgrim's Path, so didn't know what was entailed. Gods, this was getting more uneasy. I walked about trying to get my thoughts in order when I came across the remains of someone called Nystrom. He had a journal and a nice ebony dagger of malediction. The journal told of someone called Lithless, who spoke in riddles about 5 tests on the Pilgrim's Path. It looked like a load of nonsense, but I kept it to refer to it if something sprung to mind on my journey through the Pilgrim's Path. As I moved on into the Sepulchre, I cast my bound bow spell and dropped into full sneak mode, moving very slowly and cautiously into a chamber with a ghost of a sentinel moving around. I didn't know if there were more, so I watched for any pattern of his movement. I saw that if I waited until he turned and walked towards an open door, I should be able to slip down the steps across the room into the passageway on the other side without him seeing me. Made it, but only just. I froze just as the sentinel ghost person turned back. A second later, he would probably have seen me, and I would have sword and dagger in my back. Another wait slowly along the passage. A pressure plate was gently stepped over. It was then I saw another sentinel ghost at the top of the darkened stairs ahead of me. I stopped about halfway up and aimed my bound bow at the stationary figure. It dropped silently like a piece of cloth and crumpled to the floor. I still moved cautiously upwards, checking for trips and pressure plates on each step until I moved past the dead sentinel and on into the next passageway. Another chamber this time with brightly lit areas and complete shadow areas. I'm an assassin thief, so I don't like bright lights. I'll stay in the shadows, I thought. Again, moving forward cautiously, I spotted a tripwire on the flight of stairs I had to go up. I had brushed the light area with my arm and took a fair bit of health damage. The light was definitely bad for my health. A quick heal in the dark and onwards. This was bloody hard. Another bloody tripwire at the top of the next stairs. This time, but I eased over it without getting into the light. Deciding which route is difficult, but I just had to stay in the shadow. A final tripwire at the top of the last set of stairs, and I'm free and clear and into the next hallway. Gods, I'm sweating here. I really am getting out of training, I thought to myself. Focus. Another chamber with the statue of Nocturnal, a corpse, and a wooden tray. Sorry about that. And a wooden tray with what looks like an offering. Obviously not accepted, I whispered at the corpse. Nocturnal doesn't do offerings, I thought. She likes the dark. What offering would she like? The Lady of Shadow? I looked at the torches burning and behind the statue and then noticed the chains behind the torches. I pulled one chain and the torch went out. Now the other, and I was in darkness. Now the other, and I was in darkness. A passage opened behind the statue and into a corridor. Onwards into the darkness, I thought, as I crept forward and then stopped and looking at the two doors. Now I had a simple choice. Straight ahead to go through and unlock an unlocked door or enter the master lock door to my left. This is a test, I thought. I suspect it's meant to be a challenge. I unlocked the door with the master lock using the skeleton key and entered a small chamber which had at least 2 more sentinels. I noticed a couple of books, but I just continued to sink my way through the corridors and eventually reached the door to the inner sanctum. Now I continued without problems to another set of doors into a room with a well and nothing else. I couldn't see the bottom, but the only way is down, I thought, and I made a leap of faith into the darkness. I landed just beside a skeleton. I assume this was Anders mentioned in Nystrom's journal. Suddenly the floor of the well drops. Now I'm in a room with 3 closed doors and what looked like a lock at my feet. I put the skeleton key into the lock and Nocturnal appears from Ebonmere. She spoke. My, what do we have here? It's been a number of years since I've set foot on your world. Or perhaps it's been moments. One tends to lose track. So, once again, the key has been stolen and a champion returns it to the sepulchre. Now that Ebonmere has been restored, you stand before me, awaiting your accolades, a pat on your head, a kiss on your cheek. What you fail to realize is your actions were expected and represent nothing more than the fulfillment of your agreement. Don't mistake my tone for displeasure. After all, you've obediently performed your duties to the letter. But we both know this has little to do with honor and oaths and loyalty. It's about the reward, the prize. Fear not, you'll have your trinkets, your desire for power, your hunger for wealth. I bid you to drink deeply from the ebon mirror, mortal. For this is where the agent of Nocturnal is born. The oath has been struck, the die has been cast, and your fate awaits you in the Evergloam. Farewell, Nightingale. See to it the key stays this time, won't you? God, she is one scary woman. Very beautiful, but definitely bloody scary. I say again, Mercer Frey must be having an interesting after-death experience. Something she said struck me like a thunderbolt. She talked about years and moments as if they were nothing. Time as we view it didn't concern her. That gave me an idea. Carlia turned up, and after a diversion of hugs and kisses with Gallus before he departed to the Ebonheart, she explained about the circles on which the cycles of the moon were displayed. After very little thought, I chose Agent of Shadow and moved out. I may be back, but I doubt it. I have a brother to find and guilds to keep going. That was going to keep me busy. So that was Makachia. Still looking for McBeta, but I have a feeling he's going to be heading back to good old Skyrim. Let's see. Here we go. So second one here from Dave. So he stopped playing ESO, and he's going back to Skyrim. Guess he's not enamored at all with the Thieves Guild. If there is an Elder Scrolls 6, then great. I've had a lot of fun playing Skyrim and plan to continue. I can go play Oblivion again, even if badly. Yeah, I did that this morning, as a matter of fact. I talked a little bit about that with Victor, because I hopped in and forgot where I was. But as I said earlier, I'm going to reply as McBeta as a Witch Hunter Mage. He will be called McBeta Blackstone, because he really doesn't remember much about himself. All right, so I think this is how he's transferring him back. The character, not the actual character, obviously, because you can't move characters between ESO and Skyrim. But let's see. A surprise meeting in sorrow. 2 years have now passed since my brother disappeared back into an earlier time and other place. I've met and possibly threatened most Daedric princes. Only Moloch Ball continues to reign hidden from me now. The Thieves Guild has now fully accepted me as their guild leader, and they even had a ceremony. The place is more or less runs by itself now that the occasional blessing occurs. I still give Vex a hard time, though, for all the crappy burglaries she kept trying to give me. Every nook in the Ragged Tavern is filled with merchants or tradespeople. The place is booming and busier than a city square sometimes. Vex has actually complimented me on occasion, and as for old Delvin, he just grins, that wry grin of his. Brynloff hasn't changed. He's still a con man at heart. Gabrielle has somehow partnered up with Cicero, and together they make a formidable Dark Brotherhood assassin team. Nobody understands the chemistry between them totally. Totally opposite natures, but working together, they are unbeatable. I just shake my head and occasionally in disbelief. I've had word that a Vigilant of Stendar was murdered in Markarth, and that Moloch Ball or his followers were involved. I fast traveled to Markarth and met with Vigilant in charge of their investigation. It seemed to be centered on a house near the Silver Blood Tavern. I could smell the taste of Daedric influence in the house and made my way down towards the cellar when a voice interrupted me. No further, Dragonborn, else you will not hear your brother and his fate. I looked and saw an image of Moloch Ball appear on the wall in front of me. Oh, don't be alarmed, he is not dead. He's another damn Dragonborn, but he just doesn't know it yet. He's caused me so much grief and was troublesome when he helped save so many of those I would have destroyed. I could not risk my plans any longer, so I threw him back out of Morrowind to Cyrodiil 10 years past. 10 years. He's only been gone 2 years, you bastard, I shouted. Transferring someone through time and space can be tricky, as you may find out. 10 years in 1,000 years is a small error, believe me. He and his bloody Khajiit friend were sent back to Cyrodiil, and I arrived there 10 years ago. Khajiit? What bloody Khajiit? I managed to get out between clenched teeth. I was having difficulty taking this in. Oh, they have done well for themselves. He and his friend Inigo. He was becoming a powerful mage in Morrowind, and now he's a very powerful witch hunter mage in Cyrodiil. He hates vampires and most other undead, but he definitely has a real hatred of witches for some reason. Something to do with being shown up as useless against them in front of someone he cared about when he was younger. I remember Braylina telling me about the incident with witches when I was interrogating her. She thought it was endearing. Poor Beta. Molobal coughed quietly and continued. I know of your threats to the Daedric Lord who took your brother and have taken precautions. You will not find my shrine nor my followers. I cannot harm you or your brother, and you cannot harm me. Let's call it a draw. Where is my brother, you bastard? I shouted, an unrelenting force at the wall where his face was, and it cracked. Temper, temper, my fiery dragonborn. Oh, I know your skills very well, Makachia Blackstone. Your brother is approaching Riften as we speak. He has been injured and is recovering from an arrow in the back inflicted by his friend Inigo. Strangely, he has received a message putting your house at his disposal for his recuperation. He understands it's from a family member. He just doesn't remember too much about his family. I'm sure you will try to remind him. Now I must leave you in peace. I trust you will do the same for me. Oh, and tell those vigilant fools their comrade was killed by vampires, not me. He came across them in this house, and they slew him, and they escaped. I believe they have taken up residence in Hamar Shame. I imagine the image disappeared, and I was left alone with my thoughts and fears. God, was this real? I told the Vigilant of Baal's message and left her to do what she wanted. I thought there might be trouble over this. I fast-traveled to Riften to find my brother had just arrived in my house, Honeyside. He was very weak, and the wound had festered through the lack of good treatment. I found a priest of Mara, and he started treatment immediately. He was confident he could heal him, but it would be expensive, he said. I thrust a bag of coin at him and told him to get on with it. Beta looked a lot older and was very strongly built compared to the last time I actually saw him in the flesh. He had been a weedy child. Now he looked like a hardened Dunmer warrior. The transformation was complete. I made sure he was settled in and comfortable, and I left him to recover in peace, telling him I would keep in touch. He really didn't know who I was, and I just said I was a friend. I wept for the first time in years when I went to my room in the Bee and Barb. So it sounds like McBeta Blackstone will be back. So that's awesome. And that was the latest. So McBeta, he is out of Cyrodiil, and he is back in Skyrim. So that is it for this episode. Thanks for listening. If you'd like to check out the new show on what is it? The podcasting network or whatever. It's ASA Game Talk. If you search it as all one word, I believe it'll show up in iTunes. Or if you go to the website, asapodcasting.com, but you can find the links for it there. The recording today. Just a general gaming discussion, not Elder Scrolls, not Fallout, since obviously we have a Fallout show and a Elder Scrolls show. I'm not sure if there'll be a show next week or not. It's up in the air. I'll be traveling. So if I get to record one before then, it may be possible, although there is a Chatterbox on Wednesday, so I don't know. So thanks, everybody, for checking the show out. If you have a moment, leave a review on iTunes or Stitcher or wherever else there are reviews. And as Andrew stole once, happy Skyriming. Thanks for listening to this episode of Skyrim Addict. You can find all of our contact information, YouTube channel information, as well as other shows over at asapodcasting.com, including our newest show, The Fallout Feed. Special thanks to Claire Lafar for the show's artwork. You can find her stuff at etsy.com/MayaFirePrints, MAIAFIREPRINTS. And a thank you to Dan Bull for the use of his music in the roundtable open and close. You can find him on YouTube or iTunes. Just search Dan Bull. Once again, thanks for listening, and later, everyone.